Hi, I'm Elisa David-David. Hope everybody is having a great week. I'm sure there's nothing unusual going on in anybody's life right now. Other than we're on a cliffhanger and having no idea what tomorrow looks like. Hashem is in charge of all of this, and let go and let God, because no matter who's going to be in the White House, they're just puppets in Hashem's hand. So have faith. No matter how it ends, have faith. Which leads me to a Donald Trump story that has nothing to do with politics. So when I was in New York as a journalist covering the event scene, there was one event that I attended, and Donald Trump was there with his wife. And when I went before him to get a soundbite, his commentary on what was going on that evening, he said to me, "Are you wearing sparkly eyeshadow?" And it made me think of this week's parasha about Sarah. How beautiful she was. And when Abraham went down into Egypt and Sarah, his wife, was with him, he was worried because she was so beautiful. So rabbis teach that it was customary in times of war and in other circumstances to hide the beauty of your women and to protect them, that they would put black makeup on them. So it's understood by the rabbis that the same thing was done to Sarah, except that it didn't help, because Pharaoh's assistants, or whatever they were to him, still recognized in Sarah her great beauty underneath all that camouflage. And the answer was no, she was not wearing Miss Revlon's sparkly number 2. What she had, and the light that was emanating from her, was the light of Hashem. Her goodness, her purity, her neshama, her glow, that could not be hidden by anything. What was the beauty of Sarah? And they say that she was so beautiful that any other woman looked like a monkey compared to her. The only other woman that was more beautiful than Sarah was Chava, Eve herself, because Adam and Eve, they were made by God himself. She was so beautiful that no matter what they put on her or did to try and hide her, it could not be camouflaged, because when you're wearing the light of Hashem on you, that cannot be hidden. And light is a powerful thing, as we know, with laser beams and with the types of surgeries that we have now, that when you focus light with intensity, you can cut through. Now, what does that mean in the real world? If you're not going for laser surgery, what does that mean in the real world? In this week's parasha, Vayeira, so many things happen. It's hard to know which ones to pick, but I know nobody has patience this week to listen too much. The one thing that happened this week that's really relevant is the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. God looks at Sodom and Gomorrah, and they are so depraved, really so depraved, that God, he's ready to destroy them. And Abraham says to God, "God, you're a just God. If there's 50 righteous men, you're going to destroy the wicked with the righteous?" And God says, "No, if there's 50 righteous men, I won't destroy them." So Abraham, he feels like he's in luck. He's already negotiating with God. And it takes a lot of chutzpah and a lot of faith. And he says 45 men. And God says, "Okay, 45 men. And then 40, and the number goes down, and it goes down till 10 men. If there's 10 righteous men, are you still going to destroy Sodom? And Hashem says no. Except the fact is that there are not that amount of number of righteous people. But if there were, what does that tell us? That light can cut through the darkness. That 10 righteous people can save entire nations and worlds. We even know that there's 36 tzaddikim that are sustaining the world at all times, because if it were not for them, God would have destroyed the world. As we learned in the parashat of Noah, God was ready to destroy humanity, but he didn't, because Noah found favor in his eyes. And now we see that Abraham is appealing to Hashem. Don't do the same thing like you did before. If there's 10 good people, save it. The power of being good of shining the light in a very dark place. Now just let's say we were living in Sodom and Gomorrah, and Hashem was looking for those 10 righteous people. Would you be among them? We all deem ourselves to be great people. I'm a really good person. We think we are. But I did a series on the 10 Commandments, going through each one, showing how we really think, forget about the 613 commandments in the Torah. We think that for sure we keep those 10. I challenge you to go through my series on the 10 Commandments to see if really you are not murdering, not stealing, honoring your parents. Go through them through the light of the Torah, not the dim light, the real light, the penetrating light. It's amazing to me, even with the coronavirus as a sidetrack, meandering Jew that I am, that the sunlight and vitamin D is something that can protect you from the coronavirus. It's amazing how the light can always be the cure to a lot of maladies. But are we manifesting that light? I'm also thinking that Abraham appealed to God. Are there 50 good men to save Sodom and Gomorrah? 50 righteous people. And then I think back of the election time, and I think back to the Declaration of Independence of the United States. There were 56 signatories that brought this country, this great country of America, into existence. 56 good men. We all think we don't count for that much. I mean, in our own minds, we're all legends, right? The whole world revolves around us, except when it's really time to do something. What can I do? I'm just one person. Be that person that can make the difference. You can make the difference. On a spiritual level, on a political level, on a societal level. I'm so proud to say that I live next to a woman, and her husband is a doctor, and I don't want to give names or anything, that she started a program to feed the first responders who are serving and helping patients with COVID-19. And she started an organization where people are donating soups. And I look out my window and I see people lining up. I don't know if they're giving to her that she'll distribute or she's giving to them. I'm not sure what the dynamic is. All I know is that an angel lives in my street and I feel better because of it. The same way when you go on an airplane and if you're Jewish and you see a rabbi or this or that, okay, you feel a little bit safer. If you're not Jewish and you see someone of your own faith who looks religious and you think God's going to hold up the plane because of them. And you're right, because God intercedes when a righteous person steps up and does the right thing. Can you save the world? Even in small ways, by doing small things. And a great example is in the opposite direction. Why does God destroy Sodom? And it's for the same reason that God destroyed the world with the flood to begin with. Yes, there was idolatry, and there was adultery, and there was all kinds of debauchery and all kinds of sins. But the ones that are pointed out is that because they stole a pruta. You think, if you don't know Judaism and in depth, a pruta is like so big, they stole the pruta, oh my God, of course God brought the world to an end. A pruta is such a small amount that it doesn't even hold its weight in court. I mean, there's small claims court, and then there's this, which you can't do anything. You go into a grocery, you steal a grape. You go to the restaurant, the kiosk, you steal a Kleenex. A little bit here, a little bit there, so you fall under the surveillance of the law. Because it's such a small thing, you took a sweet and low. Like Jack reminds me of Jackie Mason, the 2 things people never bought were sweet and low and his tape. Those small little things that fall under the line of justice. Can you go to court for a sweet and low? But you steal one, and then I take one. Notice you steal and I take. The next person takes one. And before you know it, the person is out of sweet and low, they're out of Kleenex, they're out of those little sticks you twirl, whatever it is that you took, but they have no appeal to justice. And these were the sins, because when you let the boundaries drop, they grow big, and before you know it, you find yourself in a very deep pit. And this is even advice to people who are married, and the biggest advice I got from my parents, who had a beautiful marriage, and I often ask my mom, and I said, what's the secret? I mean, other than you're a great cook, a great mother, a great wife. respect. Do not let the boundaries drop. You see, in today's society, people will tell their parents or they'll tell their wife, shut up. You think it's simple, it's ugly, it's not nice. And what's today's shut up and what's tomorrow? That's how it unravels at the seams. The little things count. Don't do them. Guard them. Guard the moments, guard your words. The little things count. And on the other hand, can you save the world? Can you go be a Noah or a Moses? Well, the answer is yes. Because we learn in this week's parasha that God came to visit Abraham, except that it doesn't say that God came to visit Abraham. It says God came to visit him. Why him? Because God can come visit all of us. If we are worthy receptacles of it, are we vessels that are preparing ourselves to let the light in, or are we blocking the light? Let the light in. You are a somebody. Be a good Jew. Make every single thing that you do count. Abraham, as I mentioned in last week's shiur, made light wherever he went. Make light. No one's telling you to be a bonfire. You're not ready to be it? Don't be it. Little things you could do. You could be nice. You could be charitable. You can light a Shabbat candle. You can make a difference in this world. When you see something wrong, write to your congressman. Of course we're living in the mess that we're in because all these leaders have gone unchecked. You count. You matter. Doesn't matter how old you are. We learned that Abraham in this week's parasha, 99 years old. What did he do? His circumcision. Because God told him in the last parasha, be perfect. Be perfect in every way. Having the circumcision rendered him physically, in some sense, perfect, but also be perfect because your journey is never over. You did a mitzvah 10 years ago. I'm tired of hearing about it. If your mitzvot are from yesterday, I'm tired of hearing about it. You're not satisfied that you ate last year or 10 years ago. You still want to eat today. Same thing goes for your mitzvot. Mitzvot are today's news, not yesterday's news. Be like Abraham. Be perfect. Be perfect. 99, you're still trying to be perfect. If you think you've reached your destination, whether you are a religious Jew, a not religious Jew, about Shuvah, if you've reached your destination, you're going in the wrong direction. Hashem is infinite. His Torah is infinite. Making yourself a better person is an infinite, endless journey. Just make sure you're on that journey. I'm just going to say, have faith. Glow without sparkly makeup. Let your real light come out. Be beautiful because who you are. It says that when Sarah dies, the light went out in the tent. Her beauty of essence, of neshama, was so bright that it illuminated the whole tent. It illuminated humanity, as did Abraham's light. Again, it's worthy of repeating. Be the light. We see in an election, every vote counts, right? It should. But it's not only if you count, it's how you make yourself count. Be a participant in this world. Be the person that when Abraham asks, God, are there 10 righteous people that make Sodom worthy of being saved? Be one of them. How do you know it's not you that's saving the world?